How's it going, everybody? This project got started when I visited my brother in Utah and we went to a momentum climbing gym in Fort Union. This place was massive. I've always liked climbing, so this place rekindled that passion and the wheels in my head started churning. A dangerous pastime, I know. I was really disappointed in how quickly my arms gave out and the total lack of strength. So I set off to build a training wall in the bonus room of my house. Let's walk you through the process of building this climbing wall. I started out by mapping out where I wanted the wall to go, and at first I was going to do a 4-foot section, but I decided this was going to be too narrow, so I extended it out to about 8 feet. After finding the studs and trusses in the wall and ceiling, we anchored the boards using some heavy-duty lag screws. After attaching all the 2x4 stringers about 16 inches apart to the studs and trusses, it was time to figure out the sheeting. It's suggested to use 3/4 inch plywood to create a solid backing for your climbing holds. In this clip, I'm using a table saw to cut the angle on a sheet of plywood so that it would mount up with the vertical boards and make a clean, flush joint. Now I'm marking the boards in the spots I'm going to drill holes to create a grid with the holes about 6 inches apart. Of course, I've got to repeat this process with each board. I decided to build a box around this outlet so that we could still access it through the climbing wall. Okay, time to drill the holes. We started out drilling the holes and the bit would wander a little bit, so I ended up using a nail punch to create a little divot to give the drill point a place to stay put. After drilling all the holes, I did a quick sanding over the holes so that there wasn't any stray splinters surrounding the holes. Okay, it's time to pound in the T-nuts. I used 3/8 inch T-nuts that I ordered off of Amazon. I'll leave a link for them in the description if you want to check them out. It's quite a long process to drill all these boards and put in all the T-nuts. Here I'm placing 2 boards together so that I can drill through both of them at the same time to kind of speed things up. I decided to use this little triangle on the vertical wall to add a little variety to the routes. Once again, more drilling, more pounding in T-nuts. Okay, so I got to this point and decided why not extend it onto the ceiling. Of course, that meant more cutting, more drilling, more pounding in T-nuts. I wanted to add something interesting to the wall, not just a plain wall, so I decided to do a mural of the Teton Mountains, which we can see these mountains from our house, and so I thought it would give the wall a nice touch. Okay, just a few finishing touches and the platform for this climbing wall should be all done. Now all we need is the climbing holds. I decided to build the climbing holds myself. I got a hold of some hardwood from a local furniture builder and just chose some shapes that I thought would be interesting. Here's a quick tutorial of how I built these holds. Alright, I started out by making a rough drawing on the hardwood to get an idea of how the wood will be shaped. I used a circular saw or a chop saw to cut the wood. And then I used the drill press to make a hole that the boat will go through to mount the hold to our climbing wall. I used a 3/8 drill bit to go all the way through the hold, followed by a 3/4 inch Forstner bit to make a countersink hole for the head of the bolt. I would then use a bandsaw to make a lot of the rough cuts to start shaping the hold. Next, I used this Kutzall shaping disc attached to a Harbor Freight grinder. This really started to shape the hold. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check these tools out. I then used a Kutzall Extreme grinding burr to create a rougher part where you'll grip this hold with your hand. I then moved on to a palm sander to smooth out the rest of the hold. To finish these up, I sprayed them with a semi-gloss clear coat just to give it a little bit more protection and make them look nice. Okay, now it's time to attach them to our wall. Alright everyone, that finishes up our climbing wall build. It's been a lot of fun to make this, and we've been training and practicing on this. This slope requires a lot of strength, so we should be ready when we go to climb at the climbing gym. Alright, thanks for joining us, and be sure to stay tuned so you can always be up to date on how's it going.